Hello everyone. Here I am today. I'm with my my adopted brother, with Clint.
Hey, what's up?
Clint D'Souza, and fellow filmmaker here from Toronto. Tom is not here with us today. He apparently he's busy at work. Maybe I'll send somebody there to the US to check up on him. But anyway, so we are here today, but we've got some really cool stuff to talk about, and also some video submissions. As some of you might have already seen, Clint has just released a really interesting series about how to make a film, which is covers how you make your where you went from like pretty much zero experience as a filmmaker, like zero even.
Yeah, it's basically it covers how I made my very first film because I had no knowledge or experience, and it was like an adventure. But I made a lot of mistakes along the way, so I'm hoping this series will guide and inspire filmmakers to, yeah, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So it shows all the mistakes I made that you can avoid, so you don't have to do it. And then also, it teaches you all the stuff you have to do to get sure that you're ready for the shoot date.
Right. So the series is it's like a 4-part series, right? The first two parts have been released, and then the upcoming 2 weeks we're going to see the other two, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the first one is the most important, is the script.
Right. Now the tutorials, those videos, they're not really tutorials. They're actually films about making a film, right?
Yeah.
And while they at the same time they teach, right? So they're exactly, kind of tutorials, but they're really entertaining. I really like how the different approach that Clint took to doing his videos, and they're not like that so technical. So today today we want to get into some of the more technical stuff, right?
It's a broad overview because there was a lot to cover, and I didn't want to go too much into that. I was like, okay, I'll give you a broad general idea, but then the description of my video, I gave like a full detailed description of exactly where to go, what to do. I linked out to different videos like from Tom and other filmmakers that go into more depth. But yeah, today I want to cover some of the topics I could not talk about in the web series. So like getting breakdown into what you should research, how to get prepared, because I've worked on lots of different sets for different filmmakers, new filmmakers, and the one thing I notice is when it comes to shoot date, they forget stuff. There's like, oh no, I forgot to get this prop. Oh no, I forgot about the scene, and and then it gets panic. It's panic. It's chaos, and they don't know what to do. So I'm here to talk to you about script breakdown, where you break down your script into all these different buckets, like sound effects, props, cast, VFX. So that way, when you go through the entire script, you mark, okay, I need Foley sound, I need ADR for this, or I need VFX for this, right? And then you make a whole list, and then with this list, then you get a shot list. So when it comes to the actual shoot date, you know exactly what you're going to do, how long it's going to take, and that's pretty much it. It's basic script breakdown and shot list.
Okay, how much? First of all, I want to say that I really think it's very valuable for all of you guys, who haven't made maybe films on your own, where you produced them and directed them on your own, to see this series, because it's even though it doesn't like cover the technical aspects, it's usually not the technical things that get people, prevent them from making these projects. It's just like, not knowing where to start. Like I've talked to YouTubers who are actually, successful YouTubers, have good following and so on, and they know all the technical stuff, but they haven't tried, short films or projects like that, just because they don't know where to start, right? They're like, so that's what your series really covers really well, like how to get. The big thing is, because people say, well, how do I do it? Make a film? I cannot do it on my own. I need other people. How do I get them on board? Like, how do I convince people? And you talk about it, and show in the series exactly how you do it. And like, how much experience, how much knowledge did you have, like even theoretical knowledge did you have about filmmaking when you decided to make your first short?
When I made the first one, I had zero knowledge. I didn't go to school. I didn't have any friends. Like I didn't know you guys at that time. I didn't know anyone at that time. I was the only guy in my entire family or my friend circle that had any aspirations to make a film. So I realized, okay, nowadays we live in a digital age and everything's online. So I went to YouTube and I researched. I did a lot of research, and that's when I came across various. Like that's how I came across Tom's channel, and then he has a great tutorial that shows you all the shooting aspects. So I'm like, okay, I kind of know the shooting aspects, but how do I get there, right?
Right.
That was hard. So then I had to go to different channels and I had to search a lot and about script writing, about script breakdown. Rocket Jump Film School, they do a good job with some of these early pre-production aspects. So I got some of the videos from there, and that's how I learned, and that's how it helped me. And I made my first film. But then when I made my first film, I realized, oh crap, I made this mistake here. My biggest mistake was audio. That's one thing you don't hear a lot. No one talks about how important audio is. Everyone is like camera, visuals, lights. But then people forget about audio, and I forgot about audio. My audio was horrible in the first half of the movie, and I was like, shit, how do I fix this? And luckily, on the lunch break, I realized I was reviewing the footage, and then I realized, oh, my audio settings are off.
Okay.
So then I quickly tweaked it, and then the rest of the shoot was okay. But yeah, so it's stuff like that. So that's why I'm hoping this series would address all the things I didn't know about, which I didn't find online. So I'm hoping this will actually, get people. It's pretty much like a checklist. Think of it as a checklist. It's like almost like I present you a checklist of all the things you need to do before the shoot, and as long as you get it all done, you're good to go.
But did you have experience with camera? Did you shoot anything for other people? Did you were you on sets
No.
on other filmmakers?
No, nothing. I never. This is my first set. I was on set years ago as an actor, but these were like very indie sets, so it wasn't like professional. So I didn't really learn much. I mean, I learned a bit, got an idea, but technically, no, I had zero technical knowledge at that time. Like even if I look back at my first film right now, it's not pretty, It's
Well,
not.
I mean, we watched it and we were like, Tom and I were like, we want to work with you because just
I think I think I
you
think
must have done a lot of good things in it,
I think what sold that movie well, I think was the story. I think the story was good. It's just that the technical aspects of it behind it was not as good. I look at it now, I'm like, this thing is out of focus, the sound is off here, and then if you switch the angles, the white balance is not matching. So yeah, I mean, for a first film, you expect that, you're not going to be
Exactly.
perfect, right? So,
Yeah.
and it's a process of making more and more films. That's the key. You have to keep making, because as you keep making, you'll get better and better. You'll improve, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, so I really want to know here what it was like once you got on the set, and because I can for myself I will be like, when you are the person everybody asks, wants answers from, and needs leadership, and you're supposed to know everything and so on, and there are so many things to think about, right?
Yeah.
When you're there, you're producing, you're doing the creative person, everything. I want to get that, but maybe first before you get that, so how did you prepare? How long did it take to prepare for that shoot?
Oh, this was months. I would say, I don't know, it's like 2, 3, 4 months maybe. I was like really researching, preparing, but to be honest, so much preparation, I still made a lot of mistakes with it, because I was very nervous the very first time. I was very nervous. The actors who I got, I was surprised. One of the actors was pretty popular. He has his own MSN interview show. Like he's interviewed all these stars and all, and he was doing my stuff, and I was like, oh god, I was intimidated right by the actor. I was like, okay, I got to make sure I don't screw up, make it look nice and professional. And it was a small crew. It was just me, my wife, and the 2 actors.
Okay.
Because the one thing I realized is if I had to make a movie within my budget, it had to be something I have to make it small. So I knew if I did a husband and wife drama and I did the whole thing in my house, there's not much expensive except for food and the travelers' expenses, like the actors' expenses. So that helped me. And yeah, I was nervous at first, but the actors were really good. They made me feel more confident, and I kept going on, and that's how it happened.
Did you do a lot of, since you had no technical experience, did you do a lot of camera tests?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I did a few tests, but not a lot. I should have done more tests, because in one of the 4th episode, the one that's going to come out on Friday, I talk about how I messed up and how you should do tests before you shoot the film. But ironically, I didn't listen to my own advice, because when I did this series, this is the first time I'm using the Blackmagic Ursa, and I didn't do I didn't do any tests, and then I screwed up again doing the shoot.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, great, I didn't listen to my own advice, but I managed to fix it in post somewhat. But yeah, always do your test shots. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, especially with new equipment, right?
Yeah, especially new equipment. Because I keep thinking like, yeah, because I was using the GX4 before. I was like, now I'm comfortable with the GX4. It's gonna be the same on the Blackmagic. But no, it's not. It's not the same. It's totally different. So always test your equipment.
Okay, that's cool. What else? What else can we talk about? What are some of the other hard learned lessons on the shoot? Before, like in terms of the preparation, what else can we? Do you guys have any? By the way, you guys have any questions here? We're kind of we're hoping to hear some questions from you guys.
Yes,
how many of you have seen the show?
I'm going to show a sneak peek of the series, and then we'll talk about this.
I don't feel like it.
What are you doing? Come on, you were supposed to be ready for work. You're gonna be late again.
And
I don't feel like it. I wish I could just make movies and quit my job, but I don't know how to begin.
Well, aren't movies born out of stories? Why don't you just write a script? Okay, I've got to go to work. Don't be late again.
That's right. The first part to any film is a rich and entertaining script. How do you write such a script, you ask? Well, any script should be able to answer the following questions. Who are the characters? What do they want? What are the obstacles that stand in their way? How do they overcome these obstacles? These 4 questions can be applied to any film, even the film we're watching right now.
yeah, so that was a sneak peek of the first episode. It covers the most important part, which is the script writing and what are the 4 main elements. At least this is what I follow. I believe that every story should have kind of these 4 elements, like who are the characters, what do they want, what's in their way, and how do they accomplish it. These principles usually apply to almost every film. Like even the one I made was like, it was a film about me. The character was me, Clint D'Souza. What I wanted was to make my first film, but what was in my way was I didn't have any knowledge or experience. And then how I overcame it, well, that's the 4 episodes show how I overcame that.
Okay, cool. And how long did it take you to write it? Like, did you get a lot of feedback? Did you get a lot of other input from other people?
Yeah, it's good to get some second pair of eyes or third pair of eyes on it. Yeah. So when I wrote the story initially, and then I'm like, okay, let's get some feedback. I know some people who read a lot. Some of them are writers, and some of them just have the passion of reading stuff. So I let them read it, get their feedback, and then they told me, oh, you know what, maybe this would be better if this happened, or if this happened. And I'm like, oh yeah, kind of made sense. And so then I went tweaked the script. I went for a couple of revisions, and then I was happy with the final product.
Okay. Cool. And how long was that first short? Like how many pages? How many minutes did?
I think it was around 6 to 8 pages. I can't remember now. It's been a while.
It's probably like much easier, better to start off with like some story that's has a more of a simpler structure, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can really get into like lost in the complexities of the stories. And
for example, I wanted to do something before I was closer to the actor's life when I did, but that was a very complex project. It required multiple locations, gun props, a lot of vehicles. It was a massive scale. So I was like, you know what, I can't do that. That's not going to be possible as my first film. So then I tried to scale it down to something that's more affordable with what I had, and that's how Two Worlds Too Many came to life.
Okay, and one of the big things that you answer in the series, but it's how to get good like real actors on board, right? Especially when you have one way to do it is if you have a good demo reel as a filmmaker, right?
Yeah,
that's what people get excited by that. Now you didn't have a demo reel, right?
No, I didn't have anything.
So how did you get people? And then the series does talk about it. But
my name is Limey Crickets.
The actors.
It's funny. As a matter of fact, let me show a clip from the second episode where this is the exact discussion my wife and I had, where we were thinking, where are we going to get these actors? And let me show you what happened.
Okay.
We have. I just need to find the actors for my husband and wife.
Where are you gonna find these actors? You know, I don't think we can afford actors. Why don't I ask my cousin Roger to do it? He would do it for free.
You talking to me? I am gonna make him an offer that he can't refuse. Say hello to my little friend. I'll be back.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, so, okay, Roger is a fictional character, actually, but he's inspired by someone I know. Yeah, so he wanted to do my first film, but I'm like, you're not that good, so, but the thing is, there are a lot of actors just like me, you know, who want to get into acting, but they don't have a break. They need a break. They need someone to take them seriously, right? So I figured, okay, so they'll give me a chance if I give them a chance, and that's how it happened. So when I put the ad up and the audition, I got a bunch of responses. I was surprised. I didn't expect that from people who have years of experience and people who are new. But since I used to be a struggling actor and I kind of know how hard it is to get in, so I said, you know what, I'll give people new a chance. I picked some really good actors for this. Like I auditioned, I did a bunch of auditions and narrowed down my best husband and wife candidate, and then that's how I picked them. Luckily, there's no shortage of actors, so that was a relief. I was surprised because as you see in the end of the episode, my wife thought I would get no responses. I ended up getting like 300 responses, so that was.
Now the good thing is you do live in the Toronto area, so you have a lot of.
I think that helps. If you're in a big city where acting is big, like Toronto, New York, LA, Vancouver, or London, places like that, then yeah, I think you'll have a lot of responses.
Right. Well, yeah. So you can show. Like I know a lot of people who think that it's very difficult to get actors on board when you cannot pay, right? So yeah. You have being on the other side, being an actor for sure, helped you to understand that. And the other thing is, I think sometimes maybe people feel bad about if they cannot pay their actors right away, right? And just wanted to say, like, don't worry about that, because like think about it this way, film schools, they ask students to pay so they can team up together to make films, right? So if you organize a project, do all this work, and you have to get equipment and so on, and create a cool story together and put this project where people they just come in and it's not just costing their time. That's really you creating a great opportunity for for them. So it makes so much sense for people who have little experience to team up, and there's and it's totally natural that there's no money should be exchanged, right? Now once you progress and you've got like a distribution deal with Netflix, then you probably should be paying people,
you definitely
right?
should be paying, yeah.
But there's nothing wrong, or don't feel bad about not, or you're not going to be taken less seriously just because you're not paying. Like it's people will, when you're starting out, people will really pick up on like how you are like as a person, how committed you are, how serious, because the big thing is people also want to make sure you finish the project. Sometimes people start something and then don't finish. So people like looking for those clues in terms of your personality. And and if you can show some work, then then that also helps if you have a good demo reel to convince people. But like Clint, you didn't have, and people still saw something in you. And probably for us and Tom, we did get to see your work before, but we also right away were impressed with you and and your wife, like how you guys prepare. Like you're very well prepared, and that makes people believe that this project will complete, and so it's worth spending my time and putting my talents into that project.
Yeah, it became more of a collaboration process at that point. But to your point, it's true. Like if you can't pay the actors, well, it would be ideal if you could pay. But if you have a very low budget, then you should respect the actors and make sure that they don't waste your time. Like only call them on set when they're required. Don't make them hang out the whole day for no reason. So that's where preparation comes into play. Making sure you break down your scenes. Exactly, right, from so and so time I'm going to shoot this scene, and then from this scene to this scene, right? So that way they can only come when they're required. And when they volunteering their time, make sure you take care of them. So Paul and I, we have a kind of like a reputation going on now because we really take care of our actors. We don't do pizza and all that crap. And like, no, because and I used to be an actor. Sometimes we get pizza and that one pizza for the whole day, and that's pretty bad. So I make sure I treat the actors really well, so they're happy on set, you know. And then if they're happy, then you get a great performance from them. So yeah, if you can't pay them, then make sure you treat them like royalty. That's what I say.
I can confirm. Yeah, you guys always. It's a very good, you know, good setting to when we work with you guys, and you take good care not just of the actors, everybody on the set. So I wanted to. So you prepared yourself really well for the shoot, that first shoot. Now, how was it then the first day? Like, did it go according to the plan? Did you have to improvise a lot?
It for the most part went as planned. I scheduled the whole shoot to happen from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. and we actually wrapped in time. I was actually surprised. Well, I guess that goes to good planning. If you plan well, and also I added buffer time because I was not sure. I'm like, okay, what if, you know? So if a scene was going to take, let's say, 2 hours, I would buffer an extra hour just to be on the safe side for all technical difficulties or stuff like that. So I always made sure that there was a buffer period in between. I also made sure I budgeted lunch and dinner and snacks and times like that. And as long as you had those buffer times, you should be able to meet your deadline.
Okay, another thing, since you had so many things on your shoulders, you know, all the technical aspects and the production, how much attention did you pay to, like, how much direction did you give to the actors on that first shoot? Like, now when you look at how you work with actors now, do you think it's changed? Because it's so natural, so easy to just kind of focus on the camera settings and like.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's one thing I realize now is trying to be an all-in-one filmmaker. It's not easy because you have to pay attention to multiple aspects. Because during the shoot, I was trying to pay attention to my settings, making sure my framing was correct as the actors move. And since I was doing audio as well, I was trying to make sure that the audio levels were fine. And at the same time, trying to make sure the actors' performance was good. Luckily, these actors were like professional actors and I didn't have to worry too much about it. So I'm actually focused more on the technical side, so the audio and the video, even though I screw up with the audio. But it would help if you could get people specialized in each category, like a dedicated sound guy, dedicated camera guy, because then you can focus purely on acting. And that's the thing, because when I took it into post, that's when I noticed all the details. And I'm like looking, I'm like, oh no, you know what, I should have told him to do this, or I should have told her to do that. Or the lighting was off here or something, right? Because it's hard to juggle all 3 responsibilities at once. You're going to miss something.
But it's such a good way to learn because once you have that footage and you can see all those mistakes,
yeah.
The fact that, you know, then that's how you remember, right? Next time, that's really made you, all that pain you felt, made you remember for the next time, right?
It's a learning process, right? So you make all these mistakes in the first one and you realize, okay, for the second one, I'm going to make sure I don't do these mistakes.
Probably the mistakes you made, you probably heard that you shouldn't do this. It's just like when teacher or somebody tells you, it doesn't get registered, but when it hurts.
Because on set, time is precious, right? You got to make quick use of your time. So it's impossible to. Maybe I should have had a checklist. That's what I should have had. If I had a checklist before every scene, I'm like, okay, is this done? Is this done? That would have helped me more. It's in my head. I'm like, yeah, I think I did this. I think I did that. Okay, let's go. You know.
Right. Well, actually, Scorsese, not Scorsese, but the director of Godfather. I'm blanking out. Who's the famous?
I believe it's him.
Scorsese? No. No. Oh man, we're blanking out. Anyway, Coppola, right?
Oh yeah.
Coppola.
Yeah.
He had this thing one time that how he goes about shooting and making sure he doesn't mess up in a scene. So yeah, when he's got his script and then on the reverse side of the previous page, he'll write things that like. Make sure you don't do that, or make sure you do that. Like the key things that will make or break the scene. He makes just sort of scribbles his notes, and so that's sort of like also like this. I think it's a good approach, right? To make sure to hit the key points, right, that you need, because there's all these subtleties and so on you're going for when you're working with actors and so on.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want to make sure that you don't make that some mistakes that will be difficult to fix, right?
Yeah, so for beginning filmmakers, it's going to be hard. Like I said, get different position, get someone like a sound guy, a camera guy. It's going to be hard, I think, in the beginning to get, unless you are lucky enough to get people who are willing to volunteer their time and do dedicated positions. If you are doing it all, I would say then have a checklist ready. because if you have a checklist ready before the shoot, then all you can focus on is just, you know, the performance, make sure the performance is good. And you know what, to be honest, if you do a rehearsal before you actually shoot with the actors, just focusing on the performance, that helps. That's the thing I didn't do. I didn't do any rehearsal with the actors. So I was like multiple takes, and then I'm trying to focus on multiple things. So what I should have done was rehearse with the actors first, and once I'm happy with the performance, then do a take. So that way I don't have to worry about the performance. I just focus on technical aspects.
Okay.
And let's go back and I'll show you with the checklist in a way.
Okay.
So what are all these cards for?
It's to keep track of everything I need to make this film happen. I have cards here for props, locations, cast, sound effects, wardrobe, vehicles. It's a script breakdown.
So yeah, see, this is a script breakdown. You see the different things, the props, the locations, the cast, the sound effects, like footsteps, what else do I have here? Doorbell, the cutlery. So making a list of all these items will actually help you prepare. So that when the scene comes, you know, okay, for this scene, I need props, I need cutlery, I need plates, you know, I need to make sure I get sound for this. So as long as you have a checklist of all these items you need, that will help you, because then you don't want to scramble in post-production like, oh no, I forgot this or I forgot that. So having this kind of checklist is actually very, very helpful and help you prepare and plan.
Did you use a clapper on the first one since you had such a small?
I don't know if I did. I think my wife might have got me a clapper as a gift for the first film to start. So I think we did use one. Okay. If not, the hand is always the, the way to go.
Because like since you've been working now with Tom on a few projects, and oftentimes even though we have a clapper, only which is just to save the time, right?
It's just like, you know what, save up time, quick, just slap, and then
all these time savings things you learn along the way. One thing that also thinking about is like, okay, once you completed this film, and you got it out, how much easier has it been, or maybe to get people on board for the following projects?
It's a bit better because now they've seen what you have done. Because that's how it happened with you guys, right? That was my first movie, and now it was more like to thank you guys, because if it wasn't for your tutorials, I wouldn't have done the film. So I just reached out to Tom and you and saying, thank you for the tutorials. This is what I made with the tutorials you guys did. I didn't expect anything from that. I didn't expect we would be working together. I didn't expect that we would make like a bunch of movies since. But I guess Tom saw something in me and contacted me, and then I guess that's how stuff happened.
Yeah, you never know where things will go, but
and then when Tom came aboard, obviously the quality production went way high. So then future work was much easier, because then I had some amazing stuff to show. I'm like, oh look, this is the stuff I did, So it helps. So it helps, you start somewhere, share it. You never know who's gonna like it and who's gonna work with you, and then you just grow from there.
Right. Okay, well, I mean, the big thing is you complete your projects, and you've got now.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I've heard actors, like I've talked to a couple of actors, a few actors actually, who say like, yeah, I worked on this project, but then it went nowhere. And in talking to these producers or these directors who make these, it seems like they are their own hurdle, because they take it into production room and they look at it and like they're not happy, and like, what, I don't think I should show the world. To be honest, the very first one I did, I was not happy with it. I didn't want to show anyone, but my wife was like, you know what, no, I think it's good. I think you should do it. You should put it up. But I was like, it doesn't look so good. The sound's off here. The visuals are off there. But she's like, no, you know what, you got to put it up. You'll only get better, right? So I
even like these masterclass ads on YouTube. You can see from Scorsese, for example. He says like, when you go to the editing room, if it's not painful, there's something wrong. Like, it's always painful, and with all his experience, he always feels the same way. It's never the way you thought it would be, and so on.
I would say don't be embarrassed with your first film. If it didn't turn out the way you expected, just embrace it, because that's how you learn, right? Just put it out there for the world to see. Yeah, if they don't like it, they don't like it, but doesn't mean it's over for you. You just get better and improve, right? And
okay, we got here a really good question from Kevin from Niagara, the Car Galaxy Studios. He's asking Clint about the financing aspect of like what strategies or what do you use to attract backers.
So are we talking like feature film? Are we talking?
Well,
like
I mean about your experience so far. So let's like focus on, because you've got done some bigger projects, but like for yours, the short films you've produced, you know, I mean, yeah, if you want to address
Well,
that.
for the short films I
Should people, okay, so should people, it's a leading question, but should people be spending a lot of money on short films when they're learning?
I would say try to make the best use of the money you have, right? So if you have, let's say, a dedicated budget, usually short films, it's going to be hard to get investors on it. It's mostly feature films. So short films, like all mine, were self-funded, but I try to make sure I make good use of the time. I make sure I had some good connections, so I can, you know, get some locations for free, or I can get some talent for free, or some crew for free, you know, or barter services. So in the beginning, it's all about minimizing the amount you're spending and trying to maximize the result of the video, because that is like your platform to get your eventual funding and investing for feature film. Like I'm in the process of, you know, making my own feature film later this year, and from what I've learned and going around film festivals and all, getting distribution, first thing, have a complete script. If you don't even have a script, they're not even going to look at you. So there's no point saying, hey, I have this idea, I want to make this movie. They'll say, show me a script. You don't have a script, forget it, it's not happening. So if you have a script, then what's next? Then you need to have like a plan. It's almost like you need to have like you know, in companies they have the proposals, and they have all these proposals that they show, like, for investments. Pretty much what you have to do, you got to show your proposal, like what do you plan to make, where do you plan to release it, how much do you expect your expenses will be, how much do you think you'll make back, because investors only invest if they know they're going to get their money back. They're not going to just give the money and it's gone. That's not going to happen. So
it's an interesting thing when you get this passionate filmmaker who's made, like, maybe let's say short film, some, you know, maybe low budget indie, and then, you know, tries to make has a script and tries to make a, you know, a big, you know, something bigger, and you know, reaches out to these, you know, to the traditional industry. The interesting thing is, you know, the filmmaker is so passionate, and then starts talking to these people, and these people look at these things like, it's kind of not surprising, but it's kind of, I think it will, you know, in a way this is surprising that these people will look totally different. They'll be really very matter of fact. They'll be like, okay, you've got this great, brilliant, you know, film you want to make. Okay, so what's the script? Like, yeah, right, as you said, right now they want to like see, they don't need to see all this, you know, care about all this, you know, all this like sales pitch or all this. They want to see you excited, but they want to see, okay, so what's the film? What's the story? They are going to be thinking about the market, you know, how they can be distributed. The investors will be also looking like this everybody's very looks at these projects in all this very, you know, practical way, analytical way, and your film will be judged in a very cold way, like your project will be judged in a very cold, analytical way, even though you have all this passion, which you should have for your project. But that's kind of a thing. So sometimes, yeah. So you should be prepared for that, where how people are going to be looking at your project. Whereas actors, maybe other like filmmaking collaborators, their own, you know, that maybe the way to get them is also get them excited, like in the ideas.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to get the financing and the distribution and so on, and that, you know,
it's
it's like
whole different game. It's very different
mentality and so on. Yeah. But in terms of like the question here, overall, because it's a totally different subject, and that's somewhat weird in terms of financing for like feature films. So we're not going to talk about that, because we're trying to just help people out who are just have not done their first or second film, you know, or really starting out. So we're not going to address like how you get financing, you know, for feature films. But for short films, like in a short way, yeah, you'll have to pay for yourself, you know, or you can get a few people together where people get the credits, so that makes sense for everybody to pitch in, you know.
So sometimes you might have like-minded people who want to make it happen. Everyone wants to break, so then maybe they'll all contribute to the project. You know, maybe there's an actor who wants to be cast as a lead, and then you think, yeah, okay, he's good as a lead, and then he wants to contribute. Maybe there's a sound guy who wants to be part of it, and you know, you share the credit, and then you share any profits that you make off it.
And you can get not just like you know, sometimes the cash cost of a production is very low if people contribute. So if people contribute equipment, locations, you know, so that sometimes it's mostly about spending money on the food and maybe the fuel, transportation.
Food, yeah.
But sometimes that's the only thing that you'll spend money on, right? So, you know, so yeah, so it can be something that can, you know, people spend, you know, like, it depends how passionate you are. If you're really like super passionate about something, you'll maybe sacrifice some other things in your life, maybe vacation or something, and you make it happen, right? So those are like personal decisions to make. But in terms of like, yeah, short films and making money on them, I mean, for a while there was a market, and there was a way to make money. There were distributors who would primarily handle short films, but now there is so much content that given away for free that you're not going to make money on that, really. unless there's a ways indirectly to make money, like, you know, part of it is education, right? So people make, you know, provide teach based, and that's one good way to show your work. Or big thing is even that you should make your short films so that sell yourself, right? To market yourself. That's the main thing, right?
It's pretty much that. Or it's also like a proof of concept. You could have a short film that it talks for a feature film. It's almost like it's a proof of concept for a feature film. So if you have like a feature film that you want to get funded and you're like, oh, people don't take you seriously, a short film on the same topic, which might be easier to do on yourself, it could be like, this is what you can expect from a feature film, right?
What are your thoughts here? Follow-up question about financing. What are your thoughts on crowdfunding?
Crowdfunding, well, it all depends now. So if you have a big following and you have a lot of people who follow you and like on YouTube and different like Twitter and Facebook and all, then you might be able to hit your target. I've seen a lot of successful crowdfunding is because they have big massive followings, but if you don't have a big following, and then getting people to invest in you is a bit harder because they don't know you, they don't have that connection with you. So like, for example, I think if Tom did a crowdfunding, he might be successful, but if I do one, I don't think I'm going to get anything. I don't have that many followers at all. So it's useful if you have the right connections who can put into it. But
the main thing is, can you get people excited and believing in your projects, right?
Yeah.
And it's something like, let's say you have no experience as a filmmaker, but like the idea is something, people are blown away by it because you're going to talk maybe about some social, or if you, let's say you're going to talk about some social issues that doesn't get the coverage and people are just passionate about it, they'll support you just because they want to get that story out, right? If you do it in a convincing way, there's a good chance of support. But overall, like, again, if you're talking about people who are like doing the first film because like they're going to be learning on their second film, right? They haven't, maybe don't, like Clint, if you don't have like even experience on other people's shoots, then asking for money at the same time is going to be difficult, because like at that point you need to have some credibility in terms of you being able to complete the project, that it's going to look good, you're going to deliver. So that's, again, not an option. It's an option down the line if you've done stuff, right? Yeah.
Crowdfunding should not be the only source of your financing. It should be a supplementary to something else, like your primary investors and all. Because most of the people I've talked to, how they got funded was they have those main investors, and then they have the remaining from like self reserves or from crowdfunding or sources like that. It's only very few successful crowdfunding ones are like from big stars, like who crowdfunded, and people obviously they have huge followings and people backed it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. And it also depends how much you're asking for. If you're asking a few $1,000s, I've seen.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it also depends on the amount, right? If you're asking for $1 million, okay, that's gonna take a while.
Guys, because we do have a few submissions and it's 1:45.
Yeah.
Let's roll, and then if you guys, there are any other questions that we missed or you guys come up with, then we can at the end address them. We got a couple of submissions here, so let's roll.
So you want to talk about who this is?
So this one is, sorry. Actually, do I have this? Yes, I do have this information here. Sorry, guys. I know the filmmaker is from Germany. Okay, Oliver Pettersson, I believe. Oh, actually, I'm not 100% sure whether he's from Germany, but and he was director, editor, colorist, and it's an experimental short film, and it was shot on Sony A7S and Canon C100 with Shogun, and also some shots were with Auray and Myra.
Oh wow, that's pretty good gear. All right, here we go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Let me just, Tom did send us his feedback, so we'll share that, and then you can maybe share yours.
To let Tom go.
So Tom is saying, great editing, kind of weird yet interesting, reminds me of Terrence Malick films. I like the color grading, especially that shot at the end with the red sky on the beach. Great job. So that's Tom's feedback, and yeah, I wanted to say that this video was a film school project, like a final project where Oliver, he was studying color correction, so that was his focus of the project, and then there were also cinematography students who did the cinematography, so that maybe that's why they didn't go for a story that was, you know, like a fiction, you know, story, normal narrative story, but it was an experimental film. This way they were able to focus on the visuals. So what did you think about it?
Yeah, it was very beautiful. I thought every shot was telling something. The framing, the color, the grading, even the shots, even the VFX, the sky one was pretty cool. Yeah, some pretty good shots. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. It was good.
Yeah, like technically, you know, visually great, and well, sound wise too.
Yeah, even the sound. It's very good, very good. I would say overall a very well done project. Yeah.
So the only thing is, you know, as a viewer, I would just look at the story, then you like the story or not, and you know.
Yeah, the story, it's experimental, right? So you kind of that story's going to take a backseat. So and it's kind of nice. It kept me interested. I wanted to know what was happening, and I kept watching it. It was pretty cool. So
technically, I'm not sure whether we can really, you know, teach anything here.
No, he's probably better than me. So
right. All right. So we got one more submission from Horace.
Actually,
because I think the last one does not work.
It was still downloading, but I think it's ready now. Hold on.
It's ready? Okay.
Let me just load it up.
War? What the fuck is the meaning of war? Bunch of fucking idiots fighting over territory. Give me a fucking break. Sometimes I can still hear the sounds of bombs, machine guns. Men constantly being ripped apart. Women and children screaming in fear for their lives. But you know the worst part about war? Having to live through it. They said 40 years ago, America wasn't the way it is now. Ran by a democracy where people had the right to speak whatever the fuck they wanted, with no unnecessary punishments. Welfare was given out to needy families. Immigrants had access to the country, working to make a better life. The continent was diverse and multicultural, where people had morals and understood the meaning of social responsibilities. Everything was just fine until the Civil War broke out. Hundreds of thousands of men and women slaughtered, homes destroyed, every second child taken into camps and put down with no remorse in order to decrease the population. At first, I thought I was fighting the fight, being a good countryman, having patriotism. Until after the war, I came home to see my family gone, dragged from that house, never to be seen again.
All right.
Is that the all the way? Because also the shot at the end that Tom was referring to in his feedback wanted to, where he's walking down the street.
Okay,
Can you jump in there?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a quite lengthy one. I mean, you can watch the whole thing in the
but
description.
let's try like the.
But let's skip a bit towards the end.
Where he was saying walking at night and.
Is that we let it happen
Night, just walking on the street.
by being 20% talk and 80% pussies. Now we must change the game. Bring back humanity. Bring back our freedom. Under any circumstances. By any means necessary. For those who get in our way. They shall die. At first I was ready to take my life, but I realized if I was dumb enough, crazy enough, I'll do it protecting others. We should fight for those who couldn't fight. Talk for those who couldn't speak. Live for those who died in vain. Give back to those who lost everything. Chivalry isn't dead just yet. So be prepared
Alright, so maybe we'll let you guys
for a new war.
Okay, so I'll just I'll give some background information about this. So basically, Horace, he kind of did almost everything, I guess. Here he wrote, directed, starred in it, so he's the actor in it, and colored, graded, edited, did the voiceover. And the idea here was because he got background, his background sound of people talking, and also his dad was playing music. But then he just deleted everything, and I'm not sure if that was the original intention to use actually that sound, but he deleted that, and then he just wanted to create, all the like
Come on in.
ADR it afterward, ADR it in the post obviously, and then create all the sounds and so on. It's just as a challenge, you wanted to do the sound, all the sound work, and so so I guess he wanted to get our feedback, and Tom wanted. This is what Tom has sent me here. Great looking shots, nice editing, and how you repurposed the shots in editing. Overall, great job. Lighting and editing, except the last shot where you walking on the street. So he liked lighting and editing, except for that shot at the end. And quality seemed to drop off in that shot, and so I guess you want to maintain the consistency, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And then also Tom says that he likes your acting, Horace, and your voice-over delivery was very good too.
Yeah, I had similar feedback. Based on the story, you can tell that it was supposed to be set in the future, and there's like this war-torn world he's living in right now. But at the end, when he goes out in the street, it looked like today's time, right? So I think this is where an example of he has a good story, but I don't think he had the budget to execute it, because at the end, maybe replacing that scene with like some sort of VFX, like make it look more futuristic, would have sold the story a bit more. So yeah, this is an example of trying to shoot within your means versus. It's a good idea. I like the concept. The acting was really good too. I've seen his films before, so I can tell like Horace has improved quite a bit. He's definitely growing as a filmmaker. He's a young filmmaker, so I see great potential in him. Horace, keep doing what you're doing. Just keep getting better and better, and I know you're gonna make some great stuff.
Thank you for the submission, all of you. And we had wanted to show one more submission, but they were technical. We could not be able to download the movie, unfortunately. Do we have any questions here?
If not, I'm going to show a sneak peek of the next episode.
Okay, so let's do that.
Alright guys, I'm going to show a sneak peek of the episode 3 and the web series.
When is it coming out?
It's coming out this Tuesday, and you'll be able to see the whole thing, but here's a quick sneak peek.
It's a good idea to record the audition and make notes on the performance. That way, it will help later to make a proper decision on the right candidate.
Hey, Toby. Hey, glad you could make it. Hope you found the place and didn't have any trouble.
Clint, being a past performer, knows just how nerve-wracking these auditions can be. That's why he never jumps right into it. Instead, he likes to ease the tension with a little friendly banter.
Hey, you're wearing blue. I like blue. Yeah, it's like Billy in the Power Rangers. I watch Power Rangers. I love it. The Red Ranger's the best. Like Jason, because he does the spin kicks, and he's the leader, right? I can do spin kicks. Paula can't do spin kicks, but she's like the Blue Ranger. See, she's wearing blue too. So it's all fine, because that's why the Red Ranger is better than the Blue Ranger. Because he can do spin kicks. Yeah, so Paula will read lines with you, and we'll start, okay? Okay. Tell me when you're ready. Ready? Settle. Action.
What the hell is going on?
You talk too much.
Always with the blah, 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 blah. You think I'm bored because I don't talk? I don't talk much.
But the truth is, I don't give a I don't give a about what you're saying.
It's just so boring.
I'm looking forward to this one. I know with auditions, it's usually interesting before you come across and so on, and especially if you are like starting out.
You get some of the funniest auditions, but
actually, that our first audition for Tom and me, we wanted to be professional and everything, right? Of course, and we ended up getting a room. We booked a room, and I thought everything would be great, and then it turns out we had to use this room that was used as a kindergarten for preschool.
Yeah.
So the seats were like they were for the kids. So we were trying to be taken seriously as filmmakers, sitting on these preschool, chairs, and but
that's funny.
But actually, you know what? But people did take it seriously. And I remember because my dad was outside, in the corridor waiting, and so people didn't know who he was, but he got to see the actors how seriously they took it. And then he was talking to us afterwards because he didn't take us maybe that seriously. But then when he saw like these people are like really into it and seeing as a as an important project, right? Yeah. And it was good to hear, nice to hear, and maybe it was good for our dad also to hear that. But yeah, even the fact that it was very comical in terms of the setting, but people were still
I'm just trying to imagine Tom sitting on a tiny tiny chair. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode is focusing all about the auditions and how to pick the right candidate for the role. It's pretty funny. It's a lot of hilarious auditions that happen, and yeah.
And it's not easy, right? To go like so quickly through.
Yeah, see, I made a mistake of going through all my auditions, calling them all. What you should do is narrow it down and then call the narrow down for in-person audition. I called everyone for an in-person audition. That took forever.
Alright guys, so if you have more questions, you are very approachable, right? Online.
Yeah.
Where people
very friendly. You can reach me at on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Tiptoe Mango. And on my YouTube channel, which is Tiptoe Mango 1.
And you also have a website.
Clint-D'Souza.com. And I'm doing a giveaway, by the way. So the very first rig I used for my film, you have a chance to win it.
It's a very nice rig.
It's a very nice rig. It's like a Caleb Pike did a review on it. It's the Volumax Pro Action Camera rig. So it is the full rig with the handles, with the shoulder rig. With the top handle, it has the battery plate at the back too for counterbalance, and plus some other additional accessories. So it's fully customizable. It's fully rigged out, so you can put any DSLR, any camera. The height's adjustable cage. It's a pretty good rig, and the links. If you want a chance to win it, check my YouTube series. There's a link in my description that lets you enter into the competition. Good luck.
Thank you for your time, and we'll talk again next week.
All right,
bye everyone.
Tom will be back. I won't be here.